Most magicians build routines the wrong way. In fact, they don't even have a routine. They just start off with doing a trick.
Oh my God.
And then they follow that up with another trick.
Oh my God.
Then they go into another trick.
Oh my God.
And I'm sure you've guessed it by now, another trick.
Oh my God.
The problem with this is that the strongest routines always start with something much more powerful. An idea. Not tricks, but an idea. And today I want to show you why theme matters. For this episode's routine, the idea was sports, specifically hockey. Once you come up with a theme, everything else begins to fall in place. Now we need to start brainstorming and come up with a structure. We want to think about the overall theme, and in this case, the broad category is sports. So what ideas are related to sports? One example is patterns. We have skill versus luck, we have offense versus defense, and we have rules and penalties. Once you come up with this structure, the magic almost starts to write itself. In this routine, the structure that appealed to me most was the forces of competition, and I needed to choose 3 because I have 3 phases in my routine, and I want them to build in ascending order of tension or interest. The first was skill. Every game has skill involved. Now, this is in relation to a player, something that they can control, maybe their talent, their technique, and their practice. Next would be luck. Now there's always lucky or unlucky events that take place, such as in a player's case, these are things that can't be controlled. Maybe there's an unlucky or lucky bounce. Maybe there's an injury that occurs. And lastly, consequences. Every game has a result of actions taken, such as penalties or fouls, which can greatly affect the outcome of a game. My goal for you this week is to try this exercise. I want you to use the theme sports as a broad category and narrow that down to a specific sport that interests you. So for example, let's just say basketball. So then I want you to start brainstorming anchors or props that are related to basketball. So you can start to write down a whistle, a foul card, referee, basketballs, and you can see how you can start to apply these props to your routine. So just for an example, maybe miniature basketballs in a cups and balls routine as a final load. Just a thought. I just want to give you some ideas to start getting the momentum going of building a routine. Now, the hardest part, at least for me, was coming up with a structure. So I want to give you some structure ideas that apply to all areas of sports. So for example, a 3-phase routine, offense, defense, and an outcome. And see how that escalates in tension as well. So for example, the spectator makes a choice, the magician counters, and then you have a final revelation. That's how it applies to the tricks that you choose. Another example of a structure would be strategy, play, and result. So a magician explains the idea, spectator participates, and a final phase proves the strategy worked. Another structure would be mistake, recovery, and score. So something appears to fail, the magician corrects it, and there's an impossible recovery or outcome. And lastly, another example structure, rules, breaking the rules, and penalty. So the normal trick phase occurs, then you do a cheating phase, and lastly, the player is ejected or sent to the bench, penalty box, or the locker room. So I really want you to try this out, and if you do, please let me know how it goes in the comments. Let's all stop building routines with tricks and start building tricks with ideas. When you start with concepts, your tricks stop feeling random and start feeling like a story. I'll see you next time in the Magic Lab.